Namaste. Shivaya Namaha. I bring you today the Australian opals and the Ethiopian opals. Opals originate from these two countries predominantly. The Australian opal is from famous place called as Cooper Pedder, and the Ethiopian opals are from a province called as Vella province, hence known as Vella opal itself from Ethiopia. Australian opal is a legacy opal. For generations, for ages, we have been mining from Australia. It is formed from the sedimentation process in Australian deserts, while the Ethiopian opals are from volcanic eruptions. So the origin itself is different. Opals, predominantly in our Hindu culture, is used as a substitute for diamond and white sapphires. So frequently I get questions which opal is best one for astrological purpose. Yes, legacy wise Australia is a good opal, but for astrological purpose Ethiopian are the best. Why? The hydrolucence or the radiolucence or the illuminescence, the amount of light which passes through the stone is very important astrologically. Even the diamonds are graded based on the clarity and cut, and how much of light can pass through it. So considering this fundamental Navaratna Upanishad recommendation, we will go for an Ethiopian opal compared to the Australian one, because the Australian is usually a opaque one, while the Ethiopians are transparent, and the Ethiopian ones we started mining somewhere in the late 1990s, yet to be popular, but we are seeing a very good fantastic results with the Ethiopian opals than the Australian ones. The Ethiopian opals absorb more water compared to the Australian opals because it is more porous and it comes in fantastic illuminant colors starting from black to white, red, yellow, fantastic illuminance you can observe, and the gradients of lights pass through it, and the refractive index, which is very important from astrological perspective, is very good in Ethiopian opal than the Australian ones. Because of the popularity and known for many ages, people go for Australian opals. But the kind of Australian opals which will be effective astrologically, which doesn't come less than 60 to 70,000 per carat. While Ethiopian opals starts from 4,000, 5,000. For 20,000, you get the fantastic opal in the history of mankind. Affordability wise also, Ethiopian opals are better than Australian ones. Usually in the Indian market, what we get from Australia is the cheap quality, the lowest qualities. And now we have to decide, am I going for a good quality, well priced opal, but of course it will absorb more water than the Australian opal, but astrologically it is having more beneficial effects. The Ethiopian opals have more benefit effects than the Australian opals. But how to take care of these opals? Don't dip opals in oil at all. That doesn't mean that the normal food, because we Indians have a habit of eating by hand, and men have to always wear the opal in the right hand middle finger. So light oil contaminations doesn't impact it. But if you soak the opal in the oil for 1 hour, it will completely change its color, and it will take few more months for it to slowly expel, and the oil has to come out and evaporate if it's evaporatable oil. Water also, normal wear and tear, hand washing and stuff like that is okay with the opal, but soaking the opal for more than 30 minutes in the water will absorb 10 to 15% of the body weight. It will absorb. The water gets absorbed. But again, as the room temperature or in the outside temperature, the opal will ooze the water out, the colors will come back. So these things are not available mostly in the internet. Practical things I'm talking about here right now. Astrological purpose, it is very vibrant. If you can see in my hand, beautifully, it shines well because of the silicate content. It is transparent. The light passes through with a greater clarity. The amount of light and energy passes through this Ethiopian opals are way higher than the Australian opals. Also, the Australian opals tend to become thin over a period of time because of the sedimentation process it has been developed. It is not as hard as the Ethiopian opal, but geologists, we believe that both the opals are same in terms of the hardness, but this will wear off. The Australian opal will wear off very quickly in terms of friction. The luster what we see, the fire what we see at the top of the opal will slowly fade off in Australian opals. And the next important factor what you want to consider is the authenticity of it. Australian opals are the most counterfeit opals we see in the market today. The thin sheet is put on, a lustrous thin fiery sheet is added to the basic opal, the lowest quality of opal, and stored in the market. Over a period of time, you will find the flakes will come off. That is by purely a normal vehicle sticker has been pasted on the opals. And people give various colors to it, so beware of it. So always for astrological purpose, I'll advise you to go with the Ethiopian ones because of the good color, the illuminescence, the amount of life it will pass through it, and the porous nature, it will absorb water but it will dry off. How to take care? Any opal, irrespective of Australian opal or the Ethiopian opal, don't expose it to harsh chemicals. Don't use abrasive chemicals to clean it. Normal cold water with a baby brush, you can just gently remove it. Don't be aggressive on the opal or for that purpose any gemstones. It will mark scratches. And keep it in the cold places. Opals or porous stones, they tend to become dry and break very easily if there is a shift of temperature from -5 degree to 40 degrees Celsius. Beware of it. Don't keep the opal in the fridge and immediately put in the sunlight. The opal will break over a period of time. It will weaken also. So considering all these factors, contact RudraTree. We have both Australian opals and also Ethiopian opals of your choice. You can choose. We have from 2 carat to 40 carat opals available with us. Contact us for all the original authentic opals. Shivaya Namaha.